So here's question number 2 from our viewer. I love this question, primarily because it related so closely to my own love story. So I don't even know if it's going to help anyone else out there, but I just had to answer it since, me and the question came back together. Anyways, so the question is, she set it up like this. I gave my boyfriend of 6 years an ultimatum. 2 weeks later, he asked me to marry him. We've been planning our wedding for the last 6 months. But anytime I ask him to participate in the decision making, he tells me, I don't really care one way or the other. This is your day. I'll just be at the altar when you get there. Okay. This is so hard. It's so hard for me not to give advice in these situations. But what I've learned over the years is that giving advice is a waste of time. The advice that people usually ask for, they're really not usually asking for advice. They're just asking to be heard. They're asking to have time and space to sort out what's going on in their own hearts and minds. And they really don't want to be told what to do. So I stopped giving advice, and it was good advice for myself. So instead of giving advice, what I really started trying to develop and do inside of my conversations that I'm having with my friends and or clients is to just ask probing questions, to shine a light on alternate ways of thinking, to help them get real with themselves and look at what they're really asking themselves, what they really feel the problem is, or what their part is in the dilemma. And if I'm being honest with myself, the advice giver, really the only time information has a true impact on you or resonates with you is if you've been able to figure out the struggle or the dilemma yourself. And so I try to support by being there to listen so that as they're talking, they sort it out for themselves, or I try to provide questions that will redirect their thinking. So that's what I'm going to do today. So Miss Ultimatum, here we go. Here are some questions that I hope will support you in making a decision or looking at your situation in a different way. So the first question is, why does his response disappoint you? Maybe a better question is, why doesn't he want to participate with the most basic decisions in regards to your wedding? Ask yourself the question you really want to ask. Is he marrying me because he wants to, or because I left him no choice? And then follow that question up with, do you want to start a new life with someone that has felt like their choices have been limited by you? The other question that I would ask you to ask yourself is, what does the institution of marriage mean to you? What does it address? What needs does it address? Is it validation? Is it status? Is it goal setting? I've heard so many people say, I really want to be married by the time I'm 30. How can you put this on a timeline? It'll happen organically or not. And if it's not happening organically, then it's happening by force. If you're being real with yourself, you would address the fact that doubt has crept in. Do you feel like giving the ultimatum has somehow wounded your relationship? And does this wound need healing before you can go into the marriage? Would you be willing to postpone the wedding so that you're going into your new life together on one accord? Another thing I would do is ask him what happened for him in the 2 weeks between the ultimatum and the proposal. And then ask yourself what happened for you. In my think time, I determined that I wanted Mark in my life no matter what. And then I had a good friend who also had this time in between, that point in time where you come into your relationship and you have to make a decision, and the time where the decision is actually made. In her think time, she met someone else in the month that she was on a break from her beloved and ended up marrying that other person. I never gave Mark an ultimatum, but what I was very clear about was that he did not want marriage. And I was also clear that he knew that I wanted marriage. So in this process of being real with myself about this, I was given the opportunity to really look at what I was making Mark's aversion to marriage mean about me. And what I learned was it didn't mean anything about me. It didn't mean anything about me, and it didn't mean anything about his depth of love for me. It just meant that he was a person who chose not to be married. And that's it. I just reflect back now on that time and the angst that I felt about making a decision and making the right decision for me. And if I had decided to end the relationship based on Mark's decision not to be in a marriage, I would have missed out on so many life-altering experiences I cannot tell you. And those life-altering experiences have truly made me the person I am today, which is a person that I truly feel very proud of because I stayed and I did the work. And lastly, I leave you with two things. One, you can never go wrong when you take the time to be still or quiet and listen to your intuition. I wish you all the best in whatever you choose. And the second thing is to remember that there are no wrong decisions or wasted time, just the opportunity to love and grow. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching. Don't forget to put your comments in the comments section, like my videos, and even better, subscribe to my channel. See you next time.